What's up, YouTube? We back, baby. I believe it's been 8 months since we dropped a live, a year plus since we dropped a video, but we here. Today we're gonna talk about dispatching and double brokering. Is a dispatcher a double broker? Is a dispatcher a broker? Is a broker is a double broker in the league? We're gonna talk about all that stuff today, man. This actually is a little bit of a personal subject because I had a situation where this kind of came up. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
I've been in my bag, please don't make me mad. You been in your feelings, that won't get no cash. Only L's I take is LLCs, we first not last. I've been in my bag, I've been in my bag, I've been in my bag. Please don't make me mad. You been in your feelings.
Okay, first off, is a dispatcher a double broker? The answer is no. That's right. A dispatcher is not a double broker. I don't care if you're leased on to their authority, what's going on. Let's break down what a double broker is. Let's break down what a dispatcher. First, let's start with dispatcher. A dispatcher is someone who books loads from the broker. Sometimes they book loads from the shipper. The list goes shipper, broker, dispatcher, driver. Make sure y'all calculating that too, because that's a lot of people touching your money before it gets to the driver. And then also the shipper, obviously they're the one paying it out. What we've experienced over the past couple years is the broker being extremely hungry and getting a lot of that money from the shipper and not giving a lot of it to the dispatcher, who can even give it to the broker, right? Or to the driver, right? That's why us truckers need to come together, man, try to make a change, for real, for real. That's what a dispatcher is. A dispatcher is someone who gets on a load board or someone who has connections with shippers and brokers, gets the load from them and gives it to the driver for the same exact amount that they booked it for, minus a 10% charge. That's what they charge. So when you, the driver, get a load from a dispatcher, you should be able to see the rate con. The rate con should have all the brokerage information on it, including the rate. Now, a broker. A broker is someone who brokers loads from different shippers across the country to you, either the driver, or to you, the dispatcher, who gives it to the driver, right? Now, when you get this rate confirmation, that's a rate con. You might hear me say rate con for short. When you get this rate confirmation, that rate con is going to have the brokerage company as well as the individual broker within the brokerage company's information on that sheet of paper or on that PDF, depending on if you print it off or not. When you get that information, they usually have their own MC. When you look up their MC, shout out to RTS. I use RTS. For the link, make sure you click the description below. You'll be able to get in touch with them. When you use RTS, I like RTS because they have a credit system where you can open up the app, look at that brokerage company, and see what they rank between an A, B, C, D, etc. Anything past a C, they don't even factor, which is a whole nother issue. We'll get into that later. That is what a broker is. A broker is someone who brokers loads on behalf of the shipper or someone that they have a relationship with loads to the dispatcher or to the driver, or to the dispatcher to the driver. What is a double broker? A double broker, I'm gonna give you an example. There's actually quite a few examples of a double broker, but there's one thing that they're all gonna have in common, and that's their own brokerage company. So, whether they factor or not, whether they have a good grade or not, whether they're official or not, you are going to have a different rate con. It's going to have their brokerage company on it. So, let's say Bree is Flock Freight, right? And I'm TQL. This is just an example. If Bree is Flock Freight, I'm TQL, right? Or let's just use a different name just to make it simpler for you guys. Bree's Flock Freight, I'm Courtney Logistics. I'm the double broker. She's Flock Freight. I see the load on the load board from Flock Freight for $1,000. I book the load, they give me the rate con. I keep the rate con, sign it, send it back, I do everything like normal. However, I have my own brokerage company. I then rebroker the load for $800 or $700 or $600, or maybe even some people do it for $950, right? But as long as it's not the $1,000. So I'll rebroker the load. You get what I'm saying? That is a double broker. So now when you book with me, the double broker, you're getting Courtney Logistics on your rate con. You don't know anything about Flock Freight having a load. You don't know anything about them at all. You just know you booked a load with Courtney Logistics. Courtney Logistics is promising to pay you. Courtney Logistics is blowing you up for the POD and the BOL and stuff when you first get it. It's because Flock Freight needs it. That's why. That is a double broker. Let me show you how that can get ugly. You got Flock Freight at 1,000. I'm the double broker. I rebrokered it to a dispatcher for 800. The dispatcher keeps 10%, so he's keeping $80. The driver gets $720. You see what I'm saying? That right there is just more and more chipping at that bottom dollar. You do not want to deal with double brokers. A lot of the times too, double brokers usually, I'll say about 8 out of 10, maybe even 7 out of 10, because double brokers have been getting good with these brokerage companies. But I'll say about 7 or 8 out of 10, these brokerage companies do not factor. Now, what factoring is a factoring company, for instance, like I said, RTS, who charges a certain amount to give you that money up front on behalf of the broker. That way you don't have to wait 30 to 45 to 90 days, so on and so forth. That is a double broker. A lot of times, though, let's say I'm the dispatcher. Let's talk about another scenario. I'm the dispatcher. I just booked a load with the broker. So I'm Courtney. I just booked a load with Flock Freight. I'm Courtney. I just booked a load with Flock Freight for $1,000. Now, my carrier that I'm showing the carrier this is $1,000. This is how much I booked it for. He CC'd in the email thread, everything like that. No double brokering going on. However, that carrier, I didn't use their MC to book the load. I used my MC. My MC is not a brokerage company. My MC does not have a brokerage license or anything like that. My MC didn't recreate a Raycon and send it to that driver. No. What I did was he's leased on to me for a separate charge. I got the load from the broker. I gave it to him. However, it's that brokerage company's name on the Raycon, but I'm the one that signed it. Let me know if you get a little bit confused and you got some questions in the comments. Maybe I'll do a part 2, or maybe I'll just go in there and answer it directly. But let me say that one more time. You got the brokerage company. You got the dispatcher. You have the driver. The driver has a 1-day-old authority. I have a 2-year-old authority. This is just an example. Mine is like 3 years. But the brokerage, then you got the brokerage company. That driver knows he can't book with Flock Freight for at least 6 months. But this load is $3 a mile. The driver really wants that load, so he's going to take that extra charge to run that load under my authority. He's leased on to me, right? Make sure you guys have the appropriate paperwork for these drivers when they lease onto your company, you dispatchers, please. Or even just you owner-operators out there, you're running into people that want to run under you. Make sure you have the appropriate documents. This driver is running under my company to book the load with Flock Freight. Now, what can happen sometimes is, and I'm speaking from experience, this has happened to me. Since I'm so open with the driver and I'm so open with the broker and everyone's seeing everything because it's all legit. We have our leasing agreements. We have our COIs with them as a holder, etc., right? So sometimes the broker will say, well, hey, when you emailed me, you CC'd B&B Logistics, which is the carrier, right? Who the heck is B&B Logistics? I just looked up B&B's Logistics email, because it might be bnblogistics@gmail.com. So they're like, well, hey, I looked up B&B Logistics email, and it's coming back to actual B&B Logistics at 2 days. Are you a double broker? This has happened. I've had brokers threaten to give me a freight guard. You do not want a freight guard on Carrier 401 for double brokering. You don't want a freight guard, period, but you definitely do not want a double broker and freight guard. It's over with if you get that. But then I'm having to explain to him like, oh, no. I'm actually, this is my, employee, or this is, someone who's leased under my authority. Do you need me to send you the appropriate documents? They'll be like, yeah, I'll send it to them. It's over with. Or they may be like, no, it's whose name is on the side of the truck. They'll start getting, more and more into it. When I'm explaining to them, this driver's company name is on the side of the truck. It's their truck. Everything is their company. It's just my freight in the back. They're using my company to put the freight on the back. Notes the leasing on, right? In those situations, depending on the broker that you're dealing with, they can get extremely weary. They can get extremely impatient and worried, scared. In that situation, you as the dispatcher, you have to, or you as the owner operator who's allowing someone to lease on, and you've done it, you have to remain calm. You have to remain vigilant. Okay, this is extremely important. However, you have to be comfortable in knowing that you did not do anything wrong. Make sure you provide that information to the broker. Get that straightened out. Go pick up that load. Get that back. I'll be getting more into that a little bit later. I appreciate you guys watching our first video back. It gets scary out there for dispatching. It gets scary out there as owner operators. It gets scary out there as an owner of your company, period, especially when you're in a box truck. We have to, do so much to try to get ahead. We got to do so much to try to get the load. We're booking semi-loads. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're trying to let people lease onto our authorities, because when you're 1 month old or 2 months old or 1 day old or 2 weeks old, it's so hard to get loads. So you got these companies doing everything that they can to help people out in our community. This is the only community it seems like has to deal with this. I'm unsure if you semi guys or hotshot guys got to deal with that. If you do, let me know. I know sometimes we're dealing with the all the same brokers, but I know some brokers with just semis and some brokers with just hotshot freight. Don't work with those box truck guys. But yeah, man. Is a dispatcher a double broker? Is running under someone's authority double brokering? The answer is no, man. Stay safe out there. I love you guys, man. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Get our last videos up to 1,000 views. Get this one up to 10 million views. And we got more heat coming for y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Not gonna lie, man. I was a little nervous. This is my first video back, but I'm excited. Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Trucking Out the Box. DM me as soon as you subscribe, man, or as soon as you follow us on there, man. Let me know you came from the YouTube video. If you hear from Instagram, drop some love in the comments too, man. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We got a lot more coming. We gone.
Just keep it 150. You ain't in that gym with me. You ain't there when I take that L, so how you just gonna win with me? 24 hours, Ken Griffey. I know big guy, he's still with me.